Welcome, dear readers, to another gripping installment of TV Days Drama Digest, where we dive deep into the heart-wrenching, pulse-pounding world of Days of Our Lives. Today, we turn our spotlight to the storm brewing in Salem, where the fragile threads of truth, memory, and betrayal are unraveling around one of the show's most compelling characters, Rachel Black. What happens when the walls of denial crumble, and Rachel is forced to confront the horrific night that changed everything? Buckle up, because this tale is a roller coaster of emotion, deception, and devastating revelations that will leave you gasping. The night that haunts Salem. For weeks, Days of Our Lives has kept us on the edge of our seats with a storyline drenched in mystery and moral ambiguity. At the center of this tempest is Rachel, a young woman caught in a web of lies spun to protect her fragile psyche. The night in question, a night that has become infamous in Salem, was one of violence, betrayal, and secrets so dark they threatened to tear apart the very fabric of the town's close-knit community. It was the night E.J. DiMera was shot, a crime that sent shockwaves through Salem and left its residents grappling with questions that have no easy answers. To shield Rachel from the unbearable weight of her own actions, her mother, Kristen DiMera, made the ultimate sacrifice. In a moment of fierce maternal devotion, Kristen confessed to the shooting, taking the fall for a crime she did not commit. Now, Kristen languishes behind bars, her freedom stripped away as she clings to the hope that her daughter can be spared the torment of the truth. But in Salem, secrets have a way of clawing their way to the surface, and the truth about that fateful night is a ticking time bomb, ready to detonate. Kristen's sacrifice, a mother's love in chains. Kristen DiMera, a woman known for her cunning and unapologetic ambition, has always been a polarizing figure in Salem. Yet, her decision to protect Rachel reveals a depth of love that transcends her villainous reputation. By confessing to E.J.'s shooting, Kristen has placed herself in the crosshairs of justice, enduring the cold confines of a jail cell while the world outside judges her. The weight of her sacrifice is palpably reclining of the prison bars. Every whispered taunt from fellow inmates is a reminder of the life she's given up for her daughter. But Kristen's sacrifice comes at a steep cost. The town of Salem is divided, with some believing her confession and others whispering doubts in the shadows. Among those convinced of Kristen's guilt is Brady Black, Rachel's father, whose heart is torn between his love for his daughter and his anger toward Kristen. Brady, a man no stranger to the complexities of love and betrayal, struggles to reconcile the woman he once loved with the image of a cold-blooded shooter. His belief in Kristen's guilt drives a wedge between him and Rachel, deepening the young girl's anguish. Rachel's descent, a mine on the brink. Rachel, the innocent caught in this maelstrom, is a ticking time bomb of her own. The trauma of her mother's imprisonment and the whispers of Kristen's supposed crime have left Rachel spiraling into a state of emotional chaos. Her once bright spirit is now clouded by confusion, guilt, and a gnawing sense that something is terribly wrong. Rachel's memories of that fateful night are shrouded in fog, locked away in the recesses of her mind like a Pandora's box she's too afraid to open. But as the days pass, cracks begin to form in the walls she's built around those memories, and the truth threatens to come flooding back with devastating force. Rachel's behavior has become increasingly erratic, a stark contrast to the poised and thoughtful young woman Salem once knew. She lashes out at those closest to her, her words sharp and her actions unpredictable. Friends and family watch helplessly as she spirals, her outbursts punctuated by moments of haunting silence where she seems lost in a world only she can see. The pain of Kristen's imprisonment weighs heavily on her. But it's the unspoken truth, one buried deep within her subconscious, that drives her to the edge. In one heart-wrenching scene, Rachel collapses in tears at the Demera mansion, clutching a photograph of her mother. "Why did you do it, Mom?" she whispers, her voice trembling with a mixture of love and accusation. But the question isn't just for Kristen, it's for herself. Somewhere deep within, Rachel knows there's more to the story, and the fear of what she might uncover is tearing her apart. The towns divide, truth and lies in Salem. Salem, a town no stranger to scandal, is buzzing with speculation about EJ's shooting. The residents are split, with some clinging to Kristen's confession as the final word, while others sense a deeper conspiracy at play. EJ himself, still recovering from his injuries, is a man haunted by questions. His piercing gaze and calculated demeanor suggest he's not entirely convinced of Kristen's guilt, but his pride and pain keep him from digging too deeply, at least for now. Meanwhile, Brady's unwavering belief in Kristen's guilt has ripple effects throughout Salem. His strained relationship with Rachel only deepens her isolation, pushing her further into a vortex of self-doubt and despair. Friends like Chloe Lane and Belle Black try to reach out to Rachel, but their efforts are met with resistance. "You don't understand," Rachel screams during one particularly heated exchange, her eyes wild with fear. "None of you understand what's happening to me." Her words hang in the air, a chilling reminder that the truth, when it emerges, will spare no one. The town's gossip mill churns relentlessly, with whispers of Kristen's sacrifice and Rachel's unraveling mental state dominating conversations at the Brady pub and the Horton Town Square. "Poor Rachel," one resident murmurs over coffee. "She's carrying the weight of her mother's sins, but is she?" The question lingers, unanswered, as the town braces for the inevitable reckoning. The breaking point, Rachel's crisis. As the days turn into weeks, Rachel's mental state deteriorates further. Nightmares plague her sleep, vivid and terrifying images of that night flashing through her mind like a broken reel of film. She sees a gun, hears a scream, feels the cold weight of metal in her hand, but the details remain maddeningly out of reach. The more she tries to grasp them, the more they slip away, leaving her gasping for air and drowning in guilt. Her crisis reaches a fever pitch during a visit to Kristen in prison. The stark, gray walls of the visitation room seem to close in on Rachel as she faces her mother through a pane of glass. Kristen, her face etched with both love and exhaustion, pleads with Rachel to hold on. "You're stronger than this, sweetheart," Kristen says, her voice cracking. "You have to be." But Rachel's eyes are hollow, her hands trembling as she grips the phone. "I don't know what's real anymore," she whispers, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek. It's in this moment that the first fragments of memory begin to surface. A flash of EJ's face, contorted in pain. The deafening crack of a gunshot. The weight of the gun in her hand. Rachel gasps, dropping the phone as the room spins around her. Kristen's voice, muffled through the glass, calls out to her, but Rachel is lost in a torrent of memories that threaten to consume her. The truth revealed. A shattering revelation. Back in Salem, Rachel's breakdown sends shockwaves through her family and friends. Brady, torn between anger and concern, begins to question whether Kristen's confession was too convenient. He confronts EJ, demanding answers, but EJ's cryptic responses only fuel Brady's suspicions. "You know something, don't you?" Brady accuses, his voice thick with emotion. EJ's silence speaks volumes, and the seed of doubt is planted. Meanwhile, Rachel's memories begin to coalesce, each fragment sharper and more painful than the last. She remembers the argument with EJ, the rage that consumed her, the moment she picked up the gun. The truth hits her like a tidal wave. She was the one who shot EJ, not Kristen, not anyone else. The realization is a knife to her heart, cutting through the lies and leaving her raw and exposed. In a gut-wrenching scene, Rachel collapses in the park, her sobs echoing through the quiet night. "I did it," she whispers to herself, her voice barely audible. "I shot him." The weight of her actions crashes down on her, and she's left grappling with the question of what to do next. Should she confess and free her mother, knowing it will destroy her own life? Or should she carry the secret, letting Kristen rot in jail for a crime she didn't commit? The fallout. A town on the brink. Rachel's revelation sets the stage for a dramatic showdown that will change Salem forever. As she wrestles with her guilt, the town begins to unravel. Brady, now suspicious of Kristen's confession, digs deeper, enlisting the help of his sister, Belle, a skilled attorney. Together, they uncover inconsistencies in the police report, raising questions about the night of the shooting. EJ, meanwhile, is forced to confront his own role in the events leading up to the shooting. His actions that night, his harsh words, his unrelenting pressure on Rachel played a part, pushing her to the edge. The guilt begins to eat at him, and for the first time, we see cracks in his polished exterior. Kristen, still in prison, senses the shift in the air. She knows Rachel is on the verge of remembering, and she's torn between relief and terror. If Rachel confesses, Kristen will be free. But at what cost? The thought of her daughter carrying the burden of that night is almost too much to bear. What lies ahead? A storm on the horizon. As Days of Our Lives barrels toward its next chapter, the stakes have never been higher. Rachel's crisis is far from over, and the truth she's uncovered will have far-reaching consequences. Will she find the strength to confess? Or will she succumb to the weight of her guilt? Will Kristen's sacrifice be in vain? Or will it ultimately save her daughter? And what of EJ, Brady, and the rest of Salem, who must navigate the fallout of a truth that threatens to tear them apart? One thing is certain. The road ahead is fraught with danger, heartbreak, and impossible choices. Rachel's journey is a testament to the power of memory, the strength of a mother's love, and the devastating consequences of a single moment of weakness. As the residents of Salem brace for the storm, we're left with one burning question. When the dust settles, who will be left standing? We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.